They stormed onto my ranch with flashing lights, fake badges, and a megaphone screaming that I was under arrest for violating HOA rules. Can you imagine? They actually tried to slap cuffs on me in my own driveway, forgetting one tiny detail: I used to be the Attorney General of this state. Act 1. The conflict begins. My name's Gregory Miles, though most folks just call me Greg. After 20 years in politics, after years fighting corruption as Texas Attorney General, I thought I'd finally earned some peace. So my wife Linda and I bought 40 acres out in the country, chickens, a few cows, a red barn, sunsets that could make you cry. Problem was, peace doesn't last long when you've got an HOA nearby. The Oak Hollow Homeowners Association was run by Deborah Cartwright, Queen Karen herself. Mid-50s, bleached blonde hair, lipstick red enough to stain glass, and a voice that could peel paint. She walked like she was on a stage, talked like she owned the county, and for some reason, she hated me. Why? Because my barn, my beautiful old red barn, ruined the neighborhood aesthetic. Those were her words. Never mind that my land wasn't even inside their HOA boundaries. I never signed up, never paid fees, never agreed to their rules. Didn't matter. Deborah acted like Oak Hollow owned everything the eye could see. First came the letters. Certified mail notes slid under my gate, threats about unapproved structures. Then came the fines: $500 for a fence, $300 for livestock in the wrong location. I tossed them in the fireplace. Then Deborah escalated. She showed up at my gate with her clipboard gang, Ken Walters, her nervous little vice president, and Sharon Mace, a wannabe security guard with binoculars. They demanded to inspect my property. I told them plain, "You're trespassing." Step 1 inch further, I called the sheriff. They didn't like that. And I knew this wasn't over. Act 2. Escalation and turning point. It got worse. Strange cars parked by the road, engines idling. Notices from something called the Community Enforcement Division, complete with laughable badges. And then came the morning it all blew up. I was feeding the chickens when 3 vehicles barreled down my private road: an old pickup and 2 beat-up cop cars. Lights flashing, sirens blaring. Men jumped out like they were in an action movie, waving guns, yelling through a megaphone, "Compliance arrest order. Get on the ground." Linda rushed onto the porch, terrified. "Greg, what's happening?" "They're not real cops," I told her, never taking my eyes off the men. "Stay inside." They circled me like predators. One shoved me, another fumbled for cuffs. I didn't move. I stared the tall one down and said, calm as a stone, "You're breaking at least 7 state and federal laws right now." And I should know, I helped write them. For a split second he froze, but the other shouted back, "Shut up and obey." And just as they lunged, tires screeched down my driveway. A black SUV cut through the dust. Out stepped Sheriff Eli Donovan, badge gleaming in the sun. My old friend, the real law. "Drop the cuffs," Eli barked. His voice wasn't loud, but it froze the air. He snatched one of their badges, turned it over in his hand, scoffed. "This isn't even laminated. Where'd you get it, cereal box?" Within minutes, those 3 men were cuffed themselves, stuffed in real patrol cars. And at the end of the road, watching from her Lexus, was Deborah Cartwright. Big sunglasses, blank stare. She revved her engine and drove off like nothing happened. But I saw her mistake. She thought I'd let it slide. She forgot who I was. Doubt and rock bottom. That night I should have felt vindicated, but instead I felt hollow. Because the next morning my land was littered with flyers, hundreds of them. My face badly photoshopped with words in bold. "Dangerous criminal. HOA violator. Do not approach." They'd crossed my fence in the night, scattered them across the creek, across the fields. Linda held one in her trembling hands, eyes blazing. For the first time I thought about giving up. I looked out over my land, the place that was supposed to bring peace, and wondered if I'd ruined it. If maybe we should sell, move, start fresh. Maybe Deborah had already won. The spark to fight back. But then I sat across from Sarah Keene, my old colleague turned attorney. She slapped the police reports on her desk, looked me in the eye, and said, "Greg, this isn't HOA drama anymore. This is conspiracy, impersonating officers, false arrest fraud. Do you want to fight?" I hesitated. Going public meant news vans, cameras, more chaos. But then I remembered the look on Linda's face when she picked up that flyer. I clenched my fist. Let's fight. Within 48 hours, the news was everywhere. Retired Attorney General targeted by fake HOA police. Deborah denied, of course, claimed they were hired security, but the dash cam, the badges, the fake warrant, it all collapsed under daylight. Residents turned on her. Meetings exploded into shouting matches. Petitions spread like wildfire. For the first time, the Queen Karen was losing her crown. But Deborah wasn't finished, not by a long shot. The personal twist. Sheriff Eli showed me something chilling, a tracker wired under my truck. Military grade. It wasn't Deborah's style. This was someone else. Then came the video. Emailed late at night. A man in a pickup binoculars pointed at my ranch turned to the camera with a smirk I'll never forget. You took my life once, Greg. Now I'm taking yours piece by piece. Ronnie Chase. A corrupt politician I'd put away a decade ago. Released on parole. Now hired by Deborah with HOA money. And he wasn't hiding. He left spray paint on my barn. You won't win, Greg. He left envelopes mocking my security cameras. And one morning he left a box on my porch. A bomb disguised as a delivery. Thank God the bomb squad handled it before it killed us. That was the breaking point. This wasn't about barns or fences anymore. It was survival. Act 3. Climax and Justice. The courtroom was packed, cameras, neighbors, reporters hungry for blood. I stood at the plaintiff's table, Sarah by my side. Across from me sat Deborah, pale lips pressed thin, and Ronnie shackled, glaring like a snake. Sarah laid it all out. The phony fines, the fake cops, the flyers, the money trail from HOA accounts straight to Ronnie. She even played Ronnie's smug little video for the jury. The room went dead silent. The defense tried to object. The judge shut them down. One by one, witnesses took the stand. Ken Walters finally cracking and admitting Deborah scared the board into silence. Sharon confessing she never thought it would go this far. Sheriff Eli describing the fake arrests. Even Linda, her voice shaking as she recalled finding that bomb on our porch. And then it was my turn. I told them what retirement was supposed to mean. I told them about wanting peace, about building a life free from politics, only to have it poisoned by power-hungry bullies. And then I looked Deborah straight in the eye. You thought you could scare me into submission. You thought fake power made you untouchable. But I've spent my life fighting people like you, and I'm not afraid. The jury didn't need long. Deborah Cartwright guilty. Conspiracy, fraud, endangerment. Ronnie Chase guilty on federal charges, stalking, attempted bombing, conspiracy to commit murder. And the Oak Hollow HOA legally dissolved under emergency order. The gavel came down. And just like that, the reign of the HOA Karen was over.